Vedacha Savidam, that Ramayan is equal to the Vedas, if not supersedes all the Vedas. Goswami Tulsidas ji, he nicely writes, beautiful in Bhagavatam, Jina Hari Katha Suni Nahi Thana, that by listening to Sri Rama's Katha, it removes Mahapap. It gives us the feelings that only happiness exists. It gives tranquility to our lives. This is the ras. This is the sweetness of Prabhu Sri Ram. In the first set of pages of Ramayan, Sant Tulsidas chose to place these beautiful slokas for our benefit, for our upliftment, for our enjoyment. Join me as I open the pages of Ram Charita Manas. Let us try our best to get the attention of Bhagavan Ramji. Varanam Sanghanam Rasanam Changalanam Chakartaru Vande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwaswarupino Yagyam Vinana Pashyante Siddha Swata Sanishwaram Vande Ramayan Nityam Guru Shankara Rupinam Yamasvito Hevakromi Chandra Sarvan Ravanyate Sita Rama Gunagrama Punyaranya Viharino Vande Vishwara Jnano Kavishwara आई साथ मिलाकर इस स्मरण में भगवान की महिमा का ज्ञान करने श्री राम जी की सुमिरन जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होए रमा जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होए रमा भगनायक करे वरवाधन प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र भगवान Hey, devotees, last night you will agree with me that we gained so much knowledge, so much amount of knowledge from our Lord Vyasji, Pariji, Vishnu, Adwar Pandey. As he dived into Bhagwan of Ramcharitamanas, after the divine beginning of Bhagwan, we now enter the emotional and ethical core of Ramayan. In Ayodhya Kand, this Kand is not defined by wars or demons, but by moral struggles, emotional sacrifice, and unshakable devotion to Dharma. Ayodhya Kand contains 119 sargas or chapters, and the chapters are most dramatic transition in Sri Ram's life, from the prince about to be crowned king to the exile who chose Jodi over desire. Tonight, devotees, the one who we recognize as Sri Ravi Lochana, the lotus islands, walks into the forest with serenity that shakes this entire world. Every scene is steeped in emotion, dharma, selflessness, from Raja Dashrath agony to Mata Kaikeyi ambition, to Bharat's purity, to Sita Ma fearless love. Devotees, I put together 5 of the major themes in Ayodhya Kand. Dharma versus emotion. True dharma is often emotionally painful, but spiritually necessary. And the second is surrender to duty as we all should. Bhagwan Ram accepts exile, not as a punishment, but as a sacred obligation. And thirdly, the role of our Shaktis, our feminine energy in our lives. Sita Ma and Mata Kaikeyi will demonstrate 2 extremes: selfish ambition and fearless love. And fourth, a true representation of kingship or leadership. Bharat's sacrifice, my dear devotees, show that leadership is only sacrifice to his Bhagwan, not popularity. This was the aim of Bharat. And lastly, the 5th one I put as the spiritual exile. The Dandak, the forest, symbolized the journey inward, the one that is stripped of ego and luxury of this life. The 4th sloka of Ayodhya Kand, my dear friends, remind us to utilize every bit of this given time to Golinath, the one whose lap shines forth, the daughter of Raja Himanchal and Mata Mainavati, on whose jata Gangama flows constantly, and whose brow sits Chandrama, and whose throat holds the Hal poison, whose body adorned with Bhasma. The Lord of all, the omnipresent Shankara, ever protect us. Yasyam tacha vivati bhugvar sutta yasyorasi Jalaram soyam bhuti vibhushana suravara sarvadipa sarvara sarva sarvagata shiva saseniva Sri Shankara Patuma Sri Guru Jarana Saroja Nijamana Nukura Sudha Bharno Raghuvar Vimajaso Joraik Halchar Siya भजु रामचंद्र की जय शरणम प्रभु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. A man went to the barber shop to have his hair cut. And he also wants to get his beard trimmed. And as the barber began to work, they began to have this conversation, talking about so many things and various subjects. And when they eventually touched to the subject of God, the barber said, I don't believe that God exists. And let's name the man Balaram tonight. Why do you say that? Asked Balaram. Well, you must have to go into the street to realize that God does not exist. Tell me, if God exists, would there be so many sick people? Would there be an abundant children? If God exists, there would be neither suffering nor pain. I can't imagine a loving God who would allow all of these things possible. And Balaram thought for a moment, but didn't respond because he didn't want to start an argument. The last person you want to have an argument with is your barber, no? And the barber finished his job, and Balaram left the shop. Just after he left the barber shop, he saw a man on the street, and the man, he had long, stringy, dirty-looking hair and untrimmed beard. He looked dirty and unkempt. Balaram turned back and entered the barber shop again, and he said to the barber that, you know, barber does not exist. Barber said, how can you say that? He asked, surprised. I am here. I am a barber, but I just worked on your head. Balaram exclaimed, barber does not exist. If they did, there would be no people with dirty, long, and unkempt hair and untrimmed beard, like the man outside. But barber do exist. That's what happens when people do not come to me. Exactly, affirmed Balaram. That's the point, that God too does exist, but people do not seek the help of their Bhagwan. This is why there is so much pain and suffering in the world. Tonight I bow to each and every one of you who left the comfort of their home, that comfy couch, the most comfortable couch, to be here, O Prabhu Sri Ram, to receive Bhagwan Amrit, because you understand that nothing in this world is possible without your Bhagwan, because you understand that every movement, every projection, every action is orchestrated by Prabhu Sri Ram. संत तुलसीदास जी जब तुलसी घाट पर बैठे हैं और पहले चौपाई का स्मरण करते हैं जो अयोध्या कांड में है. I present the first chaupai in Ayodhya Khan as Sant Tulsidas Ji, as he sat on Tulsi Ghat and wrote, as he remembered the stories of Prabhu Sri Ram, and as he remembered how much Bhagwan really cares for us, how much Bhagwan loves us, my dear friends. जब के राम है घर आई नित नव मंगल मोर बधाई. भुवन चरित भूधर सुख हर नहीं सुख रिद्धि संपत्ति निरलोहे उमड़िया वचन लोहे करुआए मणिगण पुर नर नारी जाति सोचिया मुलंदर सब बाकी श्री राम Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. After the Pariji talked about Swayamvar last night, after the Swayamvar, there was this beautiful Viva Sanskar of Prabhu Shri Ram and Sita Ma. It was all beautiful. Everything was listed one after the other in Bhagwan and Ramcharitamanas. The wedding, the Viva was completed. Prabhu Sri Ram and Mata Sita, they returned home to the kingdom of Raja Dasharatha. There was only festivity, jubilant music everywhere. The Devatas in Vaikunth showered their happiness. They showered their appreciation by showering flowers from Vishnu Loka, pouring only joy and happiness from Vaikunth. Tulsidas, he says here, my dear friends, that the flowers that they showered form huge mountains in the street of Ayodhya. The rain that was discharged formed into gorgeous rivers of effulgence, and success and prosperity rose in spate and flowed into the Nandiyan, into the rivers of Ayodhya. The citizens were like jewels of fine quality, bright, priceless, and charming in everywhere. They look like you tonight, like all of you. Bhagwan is having problems of his petals, the color of his petals tonight. The splendor of the capital, Tulsidas, he confirms that it was beyond description. I say, Lagrahata, Jaise, Shrishti, Karta, Kala Kare Puri, Ho Gaye. That it seems as if the Creator's workmanship has been exhausted, gazing on the moonlight face of Prabhu Sri Ramchandra and Mata Sita. The citizens of Ayodhya were all happy in every way. Raja Dashrath was particularly enraptured when he saw the beauty of Prabhu Sri Ram, when he saw the grace, the divinity of his Bahu, of his daughter-in-law. There was only happiness in every corner of the city of Ayodhya. But as this world was created by peers, my dear friends, happiness was about to change devotees. As time went by, one day, as Raja Dasrath was getting dressed to meet his ministers in the state of assembly, he looked into the mirror to set his trunk. उसके कानून के घास के भाव सफेद हो गए, that the hair beside his ears had turned gray. उसे ऐसा लगा जैसे उम्र पास आई हो, that it felt as if old age were whispering into his ears. And with that thinking in mind, the meeting unfolded, and Raja Dashrath proposed the idea to his ministers, the idea that caused excitement to the ears of everyone who attended. He suggested, my dear friends, that Prabhu Sri Ram be crowned king, that his Ram take on the reins of Ayodhya. The response was delivered well. That, oh Raja, let's make Ram Yuva Raja. Make him king of Ayodhya. Let our Ram govern the kingdom. And the Doha tells us how and who Raja Dashrath approached next as the excitement continues. Raja Ram 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 Siya Ram 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 Om Ram 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 Prabhu Ram Ram Raja Ram 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 जहाँ विचारो रहिएवा तेरे पुराण प्रेम पुलकित गंभीर तमना सौरा पुनरुद्धार Entertaining this idea in his mind, Raja seeks advice from Guru Vasishtha. He rushed to the abode of Guru Vasishtha, and on approaching that Maharishi, Guru Vasishtha Muni, my dear friends, he is no ordinary person. He is one of the Manas Putra of Brahmaji. Those of you who attend the Bhagavad Mahapurana at Surya Mandir in the last 2 weeks would learn that he is the controller of our prana, my dear friends. Guru Vasishtha is the one who gives us our daily, our breath, our awakening in the morning. Sant Tulsidas Ji, he tells us that as Raja approached Vasishtha Muni, he lay flat on the ground in devotion to receive the blessings of Guru Deva. That he received his darshan devotees. He lay in the posture of Shashtanga Pranam, the one who lay flat on the ground. Raja, with his body lying on the feet of Guru Vasishtha Muni, thrilling over with emotion and his mind filled with joy, he relates deridely that all the Brahmanas and their family, the servants and ministers, all the people of the city cherish the same love for Rama, the same way you and I do. Hey, Adhyatmik Neta, that as I age, let us establish Rama as king of Ayodhya. My dear friends, this causes so much happiness in the ears of Vasishtha and me. Guru Vasishtha smiled and was most happy and gave his Ashirvad to Raja Dasharatha. Allow me to quote this Chapai from Uttarakhand. What happens, what we experience when we place Prabhu Sri Ram as the successor of everything in our lives. When we place Sri Ram as our charioteer, when we have that steadfast belief in our Bhagwan, like Hanuman Baba, because of Mahavir Swami belief, because of his devotion, he gained the strength to lift the Dronagiri Parvat to save the life of Lakshman, my dear friends. This is the beauty of Ramcharitamanas.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Hare of the body or inner self. There was no sickness. All the bhaktas love each other. They cared for each other. The Varanasi ashram was protected. Each followed one's prescribed duty. Chatur Vidya Purush Arthas, the four pillars, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, collectively reside everywhere throughout the world. No one experienced path. There was no place for the world, for the word sin to exist, because their minds, their thoughts were always sattvic, were always at the feet of Bhagavan. Guru Vashishta proposed the most auspicious day for the grand celebration, for the inauguration of Prabhu Sri Ram, and he advised Raja Dasharatha, "O Raja, let there be no delay. Make every preparation quickly for the coronation of Sri Ram, for Prabhu Sri Ram to become king." Raja Dasharatha returned, rejoicing to his palace, and summoned his queens, servants, and counselor, including Sumantra, his minister at heart, to start the preparation with the cheerful heart to install Sri Ram on the throne. Guru Vashishta advised the entire Tao in soft voice. Jadin, Pool, Pul, Bhatiyan, Karne ke liye, Ityadi, that to gather roots and flowers, fruits, leaves, and he put an entire list of varieties of woolen, silken texture, erect canopies of all sorts in the city, transplant the streets on all sides with beautiful trees. Does this sound like something that we just did, my dear friends? Bhagwan, he continues, prepare dhwajas and banners, erect festival arches, install vases, flowers, get horses, chariots, and elephants ready. Make Ayodhya look as festive as possible. Gather the Brahmins and start puja to Ganesh Bhagwan, Kulevta, Dhartima, Ityadi, the same way we all decorated to welcome, to entertain Prabhu Sri Ram here at Ramayan in the park. The same way, with all our hands together, my dear friends, we were able to enjoy Ayodhya here in Oakland, Florida. The same way, the citizens of Ayodhya, with love in their hearts, decorated, my dear devotees. Let's give my brother Pandit Raj and devotees of Sri Jalaram Mandir a round of applause for the devotion, their bhakti. Let's give Pradhan Dekors a round of applause for volunteering and decorating to make us have the feeling of Ayodhya, the feeling of celebration. You know, a taxi driver picked up a passenger, and after a long drive, the passenger tapped the driver on his shoulder, and he asked him a question. And the driver screamed and lost control of the car. He nearly hit into a bus. He went up the sidewalk and stopped inches from the front of a storefront window. For a second, everything was quiet in the cab. And then the driver said, "Look, my passenger, don't ever do that again. You scared the living daylight out of me." And the passenger apologized and said, "I didn't realize that little tap would scare you so much." And the driver replied, "My dear friends, sorry, it's not really your fault. Today is my fourth day as a cab driver. I've been driving the funeral van for my last 25 years. So, remember, devotees, Bharat was in the village of Kaikeyi. He was spending time with his Nana, Raja Ashwapati. He was there with Ripu Dhamani. They had no idea of this grand celebration that was to take place in Ayodhya. Good omen manifested himself in Sri Ram and Sita Mahabodhis. Their graceful lucky limbs. You know, in Anna, you used to hear that. My right eye jump, something good is going to happen. If the left eye jump, be careful, something bad is going to happen. So here, Ramayan tells us that the graceful lucky limbs of Bhagwan through experiencing auspicious omen of joy. but not a moment will pass with them not thinking of Bharat, because many days have passed and their heart was longing to be the gem of a brother Bharat. They thought that all the excitement and preparation, the good omens were for Bharat's return. Chopai tells us what took place as the excitement continues, as the preparation with the queen, the chanting from the lips of the Brahmanas, the joy of the ministers and the villagers excels.
Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
With Mata Sita at his side and performed Shola Charan Puja, and he offered him a seat, my dear friends. Guru Mere Puja, Guru Ananda, Guru Mere Pad Brahma, Guru Bhagavanda. Bhagavan Ram adored his Guru. He understands how important of a role one's Guru plays in their lives. He placed all his love at the feet of Guruji. He treated him as if Bhagwan Ji. Guruji explained that, hey Rama, आपकी पिता माता मातृ और अयोध्या की समाज आपको अयोध्या का राजा बनाने के लिए स्थापना समारोह की कार्यान्वयन कर रहे हैं. That your father, your mothers, ministers, and the people of Ayodhya, my dear son, are making this grand preparation for the installation ceremony for you for being king of Ayodhya. He instructed, हे राम, तुम्हें अपना समाज देवता की पूजा में लगान चाहिए थी, ताकि वे इस उत्सव को खुशी के साथ संपन्न कर सकें. That hey Rama, that you spend your time adoring the devotees for them to bring the celebration to a happy conclusion. Having admonished him in this way, Guru Vasishtha left and returned to Raja Dashrath. My dear devotee, this conversation did not go so well to the ears of Bhagavan Ram. He waited. Prabhu Sri Ram had so much question in his mind as Guruji left. As he was leaving, Bhagavan Ram is asking himself, how is this fear, Guruji? Remember, Bhagavan is talking to himself here, my dear friends. I have 3 brothers. We are born together in the same house. We slept on the same bed. We played together. We did our upnayans and sanskar together. Are they aware of this? As the question kept on coming to the lips of Prabhu Sri Ram, Lakshman walked in the room, all happy, seeing his Bhai and Bhauji. However, in Vaikunth, the devotees had a different plan. Chaupai tells us what went on in Vaikunth. At the same time, Bhagavan Ram questioning himself, my dear friends.
Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Suni Sura Vinay Rani Pache Nage Ayu Tarjani Ram Rati to take her aboard on the lift over the celebration, hanging over Ayodhya. As that was going on, Mantra came out of her chopri. Let us imagine her with a long lakrihara, a long stick, her humpback, staggering, looking at all the preparation. Mantra, the maidservant of Kekehima, saw the courtyard all decked out in and decorated in melody and melodious music was playing. Mantra required, "Ye sabhi ki yari kiske liye hai?" That what are these preparations for? "Ya sabhi kushi yan kis baat ki hai?" That what is all this rejoicing about? When she heard of Sri Ram's upcoming incarnation, she immediately fell into the mood of distress in her heart. Here, devotees, mantra represent the mind, tamas quality, always whispering fear and division into our lives. And Kekehi's fall is a warning that ego corrupts even the noblest heart if left unchecked. And Raja Dashrath Agni reveals the price of past promises when used without discernment. And Mantra was worried about her own gain, about how this would affect her life. Also, she had a job complete. She had to complete this job because of the orders of Raja Ashwapati in his previous birth. And that's a different kahani by itself, a whole katha by itself. Mantra pondered on how to create her mischief. Same Mahatva Purnata. The time was an essence devotees. Sant Tulsidas Ji puts it. The hunchback, one pulling a long face, she approached Bharat's mother. She approached Kekehima and the question started. Aap itni gambhir or udas kaun dekhi rahe hai? That what makes you look so brave and so sad? The queen smilingly asked. Mantra did not answer, but only heaved a deep sigh. You know those that language when the start, the hunkar, the tears flow from her eyes. Kekehima asked, "You are most saucy. What happened? Is it Lakshman? Has he bothered you again? Has he taught you a lesson again?" Even then, the most unpleasant mantra would not speak, and she only hissed like a snake. She hissed like a cobra. Mantra kahani started, my dear devotees. "Hey Rani, you supported my entire life. You gave me everything to exist on. But think about it. Rama being king and the other brothers being his servant. This caught the ears of Kekehima. Now she wants to hear more. Kausalyama is clever and deep. It is through her that Raja Dashrath has sent away Bharat to Kaikeyi. That it is she who prevailed on Raja to fix a date of her Ram installation on the throne. She is sleeping on a soft and comfortable bed while you have a cushion under your head. क्या आपको लगा है कि राजा सचिन में आपसे प्यार करता है? That do you think Raja really loves you? Hey Rani, Bharat will rot in prison while Lakshman will be Rama's lieutenant. I have nothing to lose here. I will be sin if I'm not speaking the truth. And this conversation went on for a while. Keki Ma is convinced with the lies. Mujhe kya karne chahiye? That what should I do? Mantra, the maidservant of Kekehima, manipulates her and reminds her of the 2 boons granted by Raja Dashrath in the past. Remember the 2 boons that Raja promised you. Go to the sultan room and he will find you. When he appears, ask for the boons. Kekehima is convinced. She now places her trust in Mantra. As planned, after not seeing Kekehima in the preparation, Raja went in search of his queen. As he entered her abode, he felt only sadness. He felt distress. He felt trouble. She was in rags, with no jewelry, lying on the floor with her lips hanging. Raja was shocked Raja tries to inquire about the cause of this. Raja, with a soft heart, implies to her to ask for anything you wish. I will give you. I want you to be happy, hey Rani, that Rama, who you love so much, will be crowned king. It is here where Kenkehima reminds Raja when the wheels of your chariot got loosened and was about to fall apart. Hey Raja, it was me who had accompanied you to the battlefield. Perceive it and insert my own arms in the place of the axle, thus preventing the chariot from toppling. And I held my arms in that position until you was able to vanquish your foes. The king was filled with admiration and gratitude when he marked this heroic feat of his queen and offered her 2 boons, which the queen prudently reserved for a future time. किसी भी चीज की मात करो, 4 धर्म की मात करो. Ask for anything. Ask for 4 boons instead of 2. रघुकुल रीत सलाम चली रानी. प्राण जाए पर वचन जाए. That it has been the rule with the Raghu dynasty that one's promise, one's vow, one's word must be redeemed, even at the cost of one's life. Kenkehima requests, as Tulsidaji puts it in this beautiful chopai. Palms and could not utter a word. Raja was speechless. Sant Tulsidaji said, the Raja turned pale as the palm tree struck by lightning. With his hand to his forehead and choosing both his eyes, he began mourn like grief personified, and the thoughts of Raja mind was being torn apart. The celestial tree, my desire that had already blossomed, had been torn up, and its root by an elephant just when it was about to bear fruit. She has disobeyed, my dear friends, and laid the foundation for everlasting misfortune. Kenkehima looked at Raja, observing his bill. She spoke again that, hey Raja, kya Bharat aapke beta nahi hai? That is Bharat not your son? Either say yes to my proposal or decline. And then Raja spoke words from his heart. Bharat and Rama are my Ravi Lochana. They are my 2 eyes. I vouch for this. If you don't believe, then call upon Brahmaji, call upon Vishnu Bhagavan, call upon Shankar Bhagavan as my witness. And the chopai continues from the lips of Raja Dasharatha.
Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Kaushalya never said a word. This is Raja saying, Kaushalya never said a word in this connection. I am the one who arranged everything without consulting you. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. लेकिन जो मेरे दिल को तोड़ता कि वाह तुम्हारे दूसरा. What breaks my heart is your second request. Only one thing has caused me pain. The second rule that you have asked for my Rama go to exile for 14 years. Prana jau baru vachana na jai. That Raja had no choice but keep his words. Raja granted the boons to Kekehima. He then met with his Ram and instructed him. And in the interest of time, my dear friends, Sita Devi, when all excitement, when all the distress and the sadness happened, Raja Dasrath instructed everyone. He instructed his ministers to gather all the horses and chariots to take Prabhu Sri Ram. And Sita Devi, she insisted on accompanying Ram, declaring that the wife's place is with her husband, be it palace or forest. And the story nicely tells us what Sita Ma had to say to Prabhu Sri Ram. Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram spoke that, my Lord, what is the purpose of a body without a jiva? What is the purpose of a river without water? एक समर्पित पत्नी का अपनी पति के बिंदा उद्देश्य क्या है? What is the purpose of a wife without her husband? In your company, my Lord, I shall be happy in every way so long as I behold your countenance. If you leave me in Ayodhya for 14 years of your exile, you may rest assured that I shall not survive here, Prabhu. मुझे अपने कमल जैसे चरणों पर नजर धोने की मुखाधीन and bless me with the chance to gaze at your lotus-like feet as I pave the path of flowers for you to walk on, my Lord. And there's many more could have said, but Raja Dasrath was ready to give up his Manushu. He was ready to take a place in the heavenly region because of his attachment for his son, Prabhu Sri Ram. Prabhu Sri Ram, Sita Ma, Bhaya Lakshman live in simple clothing. They live barefooted. दूसरों का ठुकरा दूर करने वाले तेरे धुक धूर करेंगे राम ये जग को जग मेर भलता काम तेरे धुक धूर करेंगे राम. That he only at the feet of Prabhu Sri Ram all dukh can be nashed, all sorrow can be removed. Sumantra was instructed and he took them to Sringa Vipura at the feet of Gangama, Guru Vasishta, invoking the Parivar of Bholenath, Gaurima, Sarva Mangala Mangali, Shive Sarvat Sadhike, Sharamye Trambake Ghauri, Narayani Namustute. As they were walking, all of the villagers followed to that point where he met with Goa. How fortunate is Goa, my dear friends, And Goa is there where Goa had the opportunity to worship the feet of Prabhu Sri Ram. In this chaupai, Goa, the Shara chief, along with the villagers, got the opportunity to worship the feet. Tonight, because of time and the devotees, we will not sing that chaupai. But Goa called upon the Kiwat for a ferryman to bring the divine boat. The Kiwat arrived, but when he looked at Sri Ram, he had question in his mind. He spoke from his heart. I heard of your secret. I heard how powerful the dust of your lotus-like feet are. By its very touch, a rock was transformed into a charming woman. Hey Prabhu, ek ladha ki, now ek pathar se halke hota hai. That the wooden boat is softer than stone. Kewat became a kathavacha. Kewat was teaching Bhagwan Ram. Kewat was protecting his family devotees. If my boat converted into a lady like a Hilyama, I shall be robbed of the very means of my subsistence. It is by means of this boat that I maintain and support my family. I know no other trade, hey Prabhu. If you must cross the river, command me to wash your lotus-like feet. I will let you aboard only after I perform Abhishekam to your lotus-like feet. And Kewat did not only wash the feet of Bhagwan Ram, but he drank the Amrit. That, hey Prabhu, if anything should happen, let it happen inside of me. And after taking darshan from Ganga, Yajna, the Lord continued on his journey to the famous city of Prayag, and where he gave Bhardwaj Muni a chance to receive darshan. He continues on his journey where he met that Maharishi, Valmiki Ji, and the Doha tells us what their conversation was. What question was asked by Sri Janardhanaya? पूछे हूँ मोहि की राम कहा, मैं पूछत शकुचाओ रामा, मैं पूछत शकुचाओ, जहाँ न होता देख कहे, तुम ही भी कहता हो रामा, तुम ही भी कहता हो, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, शंकर हरिओम जय जय श्री राम. Saint Valmiki Ji addresses Bhagwan in a nectarine voice that, hey Prabhu, you asked me, मुझे अपना निवास कहाँ बनाना चाहिए, where should I take up my residence? But I ask you with difference, with evidence. Tell me first the place where you are not, hey Prabhu. Then alone I can show you a suitable place. And Valmiki Ji, you all know the Katha where he gave him the whole list of where he should abode. Those who have no lust, anger, arrogance, pride, or infatuation. Those who are without greed and who are free from fraud and hypocrisy. It is in their heart you should take your abode, O chief of Raghus. Take up the abode at Chitrakot Parvat. There you will have the comfort of every kind, charming in its hill. And Prabhu Sri Ram, he took the advice of Valmiki Ji and he went to the Chitrakot, to that Parvat. And when he left, the ministers went back to Ayodhya, and Sumantra, as he approached Ayodhya, he gives the message of Prabhu Sri Ram to Raja Dasrath. When he got there, it was Raja Dasrath lying on the floor, and Sumantra, he gave him the three messages that Bhagwan Ram, that he sent this message, that by the grace, hey Pitaji, I shall have all sorts of comforts on my journey. And having obeyed your request, I shall come back safe to behold your lotus-like feet once. Sumantra continues that, hey Raja, Sitama opened her lips to send her love, but was overwhelmed with emotion. Her voice failed, her eyes filled with tears. And Bhagwan Ram, he also warned me not to make mention to you of Lakshman's childish acts. So we can only imagine what Lakshman was doing. At the time, Raja Har was feeling much more pressure of his separation. Raja dropped on the floor, uttering only Ram, Ram. I can only imagine what was going through the mind of Tulsi Dasji while he was writing this doha. Ram, Ram, kahi Ram, kahi Ram, Ram, kahi Ram. O Rama, Ram, Ram, kahi Ram. Tanu pari hari Raghubar, Ramo gayo Suradham. O Rama, Ram gayo Ya bhaju Ramachandra ki jai. Sharanam Prabhu. Crying Ram, Ram, and again Ram. And yet again Ram, Ram, Ram. Raja could not bear the separation of Rama. His prana exited his body. And there's much more we can discuss, my dear friends. And after that took place, Rishi Muni, Vishwa, Mintra, he sent for Bharat and Shatrughan. And Vishwa Muni quickly, he gave instructions to the messengers, go quickly and get Bharat. Break no news about the king to him. And hearing the sage message, Bharat and Shatrughan, that their message was sent and they came on their horses. And this Chaupai tells us as we get to the end of my katha, my dear friends.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Ek gami sabharata samjari, ek giri bharat. He says that the lakes and the rivers, the groves and the garden has lost their charms. Bharat did not take the news in good faith. Bharat dropped to the ground when he heard that Ram was exiled to Ayodhya. And not only that he was exiled to Ayodhya, but that was the cause because of his mother Kaikeyi. And Bharat was confused because of how much love he holds for his Rama. And only thinks of his Bhagwan. At the same time, Bharat was told of his father's death. And this worsened the situation. My dear friends, it was Vashishta Muni, the guru of Bharat and Shatrughan, took charge that he Bharat को शुक करना बंद करना और अपने पिता के अंतिम श्राद्ध करने चाहिए. It is here, he was advised that Bharat should go and perform the infant shraddh of his father. And Bharat did as was instructed. And then Bharat listened to a long talk from Kaushilya and Vashishta Muni telling him that he should be crowned king. And Bharat did not accept the throne, my dear friends. Bharat gave instructions, he said, Kehu Lehu Sabhu Tilaka Samaju Banahi Devni Rama Hi Ramju. That Raju, that gathered all that is necessary for the installation of Prabhu Sri Ram, be it in the forest or be it here. And on hearing those words, Bharat started his journey. He started his journey to Vanvas. And he met Gohan, and Bharat continued his journey where he stopped in Prayag and he took his bath. And Bharat met with Bharadwaj Muni. And he was determined to be his Prabhu Sri Ram. And Sanchit Tulsidas, he puts it nicely. As Bharat continued his journey, and the Nishada chief, he met with Goha, and they visit all the beautiful rivers of India. And I'm trying to put my last chopai because of time. I see my watch is clicking on me. This is where, for a moment, Jai Ram Sri Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Jai Ram Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram. Jai Bhaya Madan Jagan May Bhani Lagan Bhavu Balur Vipul Bhikari Tat Prasapa Prabhu Tumhara O Petra Ko Jane Hara Sri Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. My dear friends, Goa thought that Bharat was coming to with an army. He saw an army. He thought Bharat was up to destruction. And the same thing when Lakshmana heard that Bharat was coming and he saw Bharat with all the people of Ayodhya, all the armies, Lakshmana thought the same. But this is where both Sri Ram and Sita Devi addressed Lakshmana what you should have. He said that, hey Lakshmana, is sound wisdom the intoxication of kingly power? Is the worst of all? That Lakshmana made references, my dear friends. And he said that this kingly power is getting to the head of Bharat. But Bhagwan Ram and Sita Ma says, no Lakshmana, that even if Bharat is blessed to be Brahmaji, even if he is blessed to be the creator of this world, he would not think of such destruction. Thus, that the cloud, that my dear brother Bharat, he will never be overwhelmed by kingly power. Oh, my brother, I swear by you, and as well by our father, that there is no brother as good and innocent as Bharat. And right after that, my dear friends, Ramayan, Tulsidas tells us that Goa was so excited to see Prabhu Sri Ram that he went up the tree. He went up a tall tree in this Dandak forest. And when he looked across the river, there he saw a beautiful mango tree, a beautiful banya tree. And then next to that, he saw some tulsi tree in the bottom. And he shouted for Bharat. He says, hey Bharat, that I know that Prabhu Sri Ram is right across on the other side of this river. That I saw the tulsi tree, and next to the tulsi tree, he saw an altar, my dear friends. That I'm pretty sure that the lotus-like hand of Sita Ma, that she had prepared those murtis, that she had planted those tulsi tree. I'm very sorry for the weather tonight, but we have to finish Bhagwan Ram Ki Kahani. The all-compassionate Lord lifted Bharat. When Bharat heard that Prabhu Sri Ram is right on the other side, he could not wait. Time, it seems, as years were passing. Bharat gets across the river and he went to the Chopri where this leaf was, where Bhagwan Ram was staying. And that is where he went on his stomach. A defeat of Bhagwan Ram. The all compassionate Lord lifted Bharat and he clasped him to his bosom. Everyone who witnessed the meeting of Bharat and Sri Ram lost all self-conscious. Bhagwan Shiva turned to Parvati Ma and said that, "Oh Devi, no author can describe this grand meeting. It was like Rati, the Day2 of love, kept sprinkling the magical dust on all." Vashishta Muni then embraced Sri Ram and the conversations went on. They all met each other and Bhagwan Ram at the end. Bhagwan Ram, after Lakshman made suggestions that, "Hey Prabhu, that I'm here to crown you king of Ayodhya." After a long debate, joining his palm together, Bhagwan Ram, he convinced Bharat to go back to Ayodhya. "I know you to be tender-hearted, yet I'm speaking these words, good words to you." Sant Tulsidas, he writes this beautiful chaupai, joining his palm together. Bharat lovingly replied, "My Lord, you have granted me all my desires. For my sake, everybody has suffered a good deal of trouble, and you too have been put to much inconvenience. Now, my Lord, give me your permission to leave so that I may go back to Ayodhya and wait to receive you, hey Prabhu." Chaupai tells us.
रमय कथा हमको प्यार प्यारा, रमय कथा सबको प्यारा।
Ramayan kata हमको प्यार प्यारा, Ramayan kata हमको प्यारा, भरत शील गुण कलियुग मारो, जगुना विमंगल मुरारो, प्रभु करे कृपा करे दीनी, सागर भरत Ramayan kata हमको प्यारा, Ramayan kata हमको प्यार प्यारा, Ramayan kata हमको प्यारा, Ramayan kata हमको प्यारा, Ramayan kata हमको प्यारा. In the same Moses, Bhagwan Rama offered Bharat his spear of Karau. Bharat placed both on his head. Such was the love, such was the respect, such was the devotion Bharat had for his elder brother. Priya Bhaktajano, Bharat's affection, courtesy, mercy, and nobility were delightful to hear, but difficult to describe. Nagari ho Ayodhya se,
रघुकुल सागराना हो, चरण हो राघव के,
जग में अधिकारा हो,
चरण हो राघव के,
जग में अधिकारा हो, आई हो, मौसम आई हो, संसार चुराई हो, ओ प्यार भरत जैसा, सीता से लव कुछ ऐसे नगरी हो अयोध्या से, Sita Ma. Let our children be like Lavan Kush devotees. Iti Srimad Ramcharitamanus Sakala Kalito Sadeva Sade Vidya Sopana Samapta Sampuranam. Principal Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Dear Udyakan, my dear friends, I want to just give me 2 more minutes on this on the mic, please. Dear Udyakan conveys a message of dharma, loyalty, and sacrifice. It emphasizes the importance of moral duty and the loyalty of family members and the sacrifice of personal desires for the greater good. The narrative highlights the consequences of betrayal and the importance of upholding one's duty, even at the cost of personal happiness. It also teaches the value of patience and the realization that one must be endured hardship for the sake of righteousness and the well-being of others. The Ayodhyakan serves as a moral compass illustrating the path of righteousness and the consequences of deviating from it. Special thanks to our Dharmacharya for his determination to spread the name of Prabhu Sri Ram. Thanks to our members of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs. Thanks to my fellow Pandits for allowing me to share the message of Bhagwan. Thanks to my mom and my sisters to sit as our sarotas, to be part of this special event. And thanks to my brother for taking after me to make prasadam, to make prasadam. To our Kirtan Mandali, may Shardi Ma continue to bless you. Special thanks to my 3 bachos for encouragement and help. Special thanks to all of you bhaktas, your devotees, for my didis and my bhayas from Hindu Center. For a round of applause. Thank you for coming out tonight. And to my Lakshmi Ji, without your indulgence, this could not be successful. I bow to you, my dear Patni. To you, wonderful audience, I bow to each and every one of you. Prem se bolo Sita Mata ki Jai. Prem se bolo Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Prem se bolo Bharat Bhaiya ki Jai. Prem se bolo Lakshman Bhaiya ki Jai. Prem se bolo Ramayan in the park ki Jai. Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Jai Jai Sita.
Prem Solo Vyas Maharaj ki Jai. Let's give our Vyasji a very big round of applause. We all agree he did a fantastic job this evening. And so we want to thank you, Pandit Manoj, thank you so very much for joining us this evening and presenting Ramayan in such a understandable fashion. And also led by Pandit Manoj's Patni Lakshmi Ji, his daughter Sharmali, his son Nitesh. They're joined by Rushil on the dholak, Suraj, who was the young man who sang earlier, Shiv on the keyboard, and then Mr. Suren Mandir tying it all together with the tantal. Give them all a big round of applause, please. And again, it's been mentioned before, but we do want to give special thanks to all of the executives of the Jalaram Mandir, Pandit Raj Balkaran Tiwari, his entire family. I don't see Dr. Taylor here, but thank you so very much. Give them a big round of applause for hosting us here. This is not an easy endeavor. It is not easy for them to put all of this together, so we are very appreciative of the efforts of the...
She has covered thoroughly, exhaustively, the entire Ayodhyakan. What a wonderful job indeed. And he's so ably accompanied by the musicians sitting in front of me here. My godson Nitesh and this dholak player, what's your name? Rochelle? Isn't that something that we eat? Rochelle. It's cold. We're going to conclude now. Thank you all very much. God bless. 2 things we have to do before we stand for Aarti, and that is we want to express on behalf of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs and the USA Pandits Parishad, I ask our President Ji Gurdat Jagnanan, who is here with us this evening, who has come from New York, and to take this plaque over along with the other pundits, and to express our thanks and appreciation to Pandit Manuji, our Vyasji for tonight, for his unwavering support and service to Ramayan Park and the Hindu community. And may Bhagwan bless him, may Prabhu Shri Ram's grace and blessings be with him. And our President Ji will also make some other announcements.
Jai Sri Ram. The Federation of Hindu Mandirs are grateful and thank each and every one of you for coming out to support Ramayan in the Park in Florida. We want to acknowledge all the donors for tonight. The Quest Hotel, Mr. Mehta, Varun and Ashwini Pandey, Mataji Bhagwanti Prasad, who has made a financial donation tonight to the Federation of Hindu Mandirs for covering some of the expenses that they have incurred to put Ramayan in the Park in Florida. Ramayan in the Park in New York has started in 2009. And it takes a lot of time and effort to put Ramayan in the Park, either in New York, in Florida, in Canada, or we are attuning to have it done. One of the biggest financial expense that we incurred in New York is the accommodation of the tent. Unfortunately, the tent person, they are not generous enough to donate the tent. And we find that also in Florida. All the other expenses has been covered by the kind generosity of the devotees of Sanatana Dharma. And we, Federation of Hindu Mandir, thank them in New York. We thank them in Florida for all their kind donation, especially to Nitesh Prasad for decorating its tent to make it so comfortable for us. And the members in New York who has volunteered the time also to donate the tent decoration.
Dunoyam Revah Bhatram Vashema Shivaryajatrah Sthirarangai Sushtuagum Sastanobe Vyashem Revahitam Yadayo Haryam Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Congratulations to Manoj Prasad.
सीता समारोपितवामभागम् पाणौ महासायक चारुचापम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् श्रीराम राम रघुनंदन राम राम श्रीराम राम भरताग्रज राम राम श्रीराम राम शरणं भव राम राम श्रीराम राम शरणं भव राम राम ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकं यवन्दनात् मृत्युर्मोक्षमामृतात् ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे ॐ मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षं मङ्गलाय तनोहरि ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय हरिः ओम् ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः हरिः ओम् श्री परमात्मा नमः बोले सीताराम स्वामी की जय तेज ब्रह्मा माता की जय उमापति महादेव की जय पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय बोले श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय बोले श्री सीताराम चंद्र की जय बोले श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की जय बोले श्री गोस्वामी तुलसीदास महाराज की जय बोले भाई सब संतन की जय प्रेम से बोले श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय बोले श्री व्यास महाराज की जय
एक बार बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव
Last thing, Dorothy, I forgot to mention.